Managing inner consciousness. Managing life. I used to think that just working hard would naturally make everything turn out fine. Just try my best and success will come. But then I realized there are people who work tirelessly their whole lives yet remain in poverty, while others just touch things and turn them into gold. Why is there such a difference? I brought that question to the master. Do you believe that your life is the mirror reflecting your inner consciousness? I was stunned. The master continued, what you have today is not by chance. It is the result of what you have imprinted into your mind from a long time ago. I was astonished. If that was true, it meant that everything I wanted to change in life must begin with managing my own inner consciousness. The master pointed to a large ancient tree in the front yard. Do you see that tree? It has stood firm for decades against the sun and wind, but do you know what happened before it reached so high? I thought for a moment and guessed it had to grow from a seed. The master smiled and nodded. Exactly. But before reaching high, the tree had to drive its roots deeply into the earth. If the root system is weak, it could never stand firm against the storms. The human mind is the same. What you want to achieve in life must first take root firmly in your own inner consciousness. Yes, does that mean all outcomes in my life come from what I have known, believed, understood, and sown into my mind from a long time ago? The master nodded. Exactly. Managing your inner consciousness is managing your life. If you cannot manage your inner consciousness, no matter how hard you try, you are only chasing the wind. If we compare the inner consciousness to a garden, the seeds you sow into your mind every day will become the trees in the garden of your life. Someone who sows seeds of worry, doubt, and fear will harvest obstacles and procrastination. But if you sow clarity, beautiful images, belief, and perseverance, you will harvest what you desire. I sat in deep thought. But Master, what about those who have tried very hard to visualize their future, yet still failed to achieve it? The Master looked at me, his eyes serene. Are you sure they truly desire it? Or are those just fleeting thoughts, unclear forms, vague concepts, not repeated, not fully occupying the mind? I was startled. Could it be that up until now I had never truly shaped a clear desire? I realized there were many things I consciously wanted, but in reality, the outcomes were never as expected. The master continued. Imagine someone who wants to dig a water well, but they dig a few meters, feel tired, and stop. The next day, they dig in another spot. Like that, they dig many holes, but none are deep enough to reach the underground water source. Do you think they will ever get water? I shook my head. Exactly. Conversely, if someone identifies the exact spot to dig right from the beginning and just keeps digging deep, sooner or later they will find water. Similarly, if your mind is inconsistent, if you change your desires every day, then your life is just a series of shallow well holes, never touching any fruition. I awakened as if from a dream and immediately asked, then what if I already have a very clear image, but still haven't achieved it? Then you need to check your inner state. If every time you think about it, you feel excited and full of belief, that is a balanced and positive-leaning state. The fruits will come out as desired. But if you think about it and your heart is filled with doubt, fear, and pressure, that is a negative-leaning state. The image will gradually fade and the fruits will become undesired. I recalled the times I set goals only to doubt myself. Perhaps that very inner state was what kept me from achieving what I wanted. The master spoke slowly. Everything you have in this life is the result of what you hold in your mind. If you manage your inner consciousness, you can master your karmic destiny. I felt a new level of awareness open up, sensing a bright path unfolding. Master, If the inner consciousness decides everything, then how do I walk on the right path? Anyone can have a direction, but not everyone clearly defines that direction. If you do not fixate your desires and expectations, you will forever change without getting anywhere. There will be no consistency to guide yourself and those around you. Could you give me a specific example, Master? The Master nodded. A small fish tank cannot raise big fish. If your desires and expectations are too small, you can never reach far. A business that lacks a vision greater than its personnel will see its personnel leave. Parents who lack a vision greater than their children will see their children drift away. As if finding the key to my life, I continued to ask, then, in a family, how can parents and children walk side by side? When children surpass the desires and expectations of their parents, they will take a different path. But if parents hold a vision grand enough, the children will have the space to develop while still walking alongside the family. I pondered, then asked, then if parents do not have grand enough desires and expectations, can the children establish their own? They can, but that process is very difficult. When a child is born, they are like a blank sheet of paper. If not guided early, the child will be led by society instead of having a solid foundation from the family. I seem to understand many things. If I don't promote my dreams to my children, my staff, and my companions, how would I know if they want to walk with me? The Master looked at me with full trust. If you want to lead a group of people to walk with you, you must have a desire and expectation that anyone in the human life aspires towards, which is enrich, master, evolve, become. From that day on, I repeated it every day, every hour, to deeply imprint into every thought and action of my journey to enrich, master, evolve, become. Because I finally understood that managing inner consciousness is managing life.